Hi, this is Todd Baker, your certified mortgage planner, and today we're going to talk about notice of appraised value. So as a homeowner, the way your property taxes are determined is that each year your county's appraisal district will assess a value to the property. And if you go to the county websites, whether it's Collin or Tarrant or Denton or Grayson, whatever county you're at, you can read about the procedure. I can tell you the larger counties have sometimes a little better websites, but essentially the procedure is beginning after the tax season. They go through a process of analyzing the market data electronically, sort of like Zillow, but more robust. And then they do some field work, and through that methodology, they will come up with a valuation of your property. That valuation is sent in a form called Notice of Appraised Value. I'm actually going to go over here in a minute. So you get those, they come out in April, and it's very important for you to look at those because for most people, they don't really pay attention. And so I'm going to go over what to look for and what to be aware of and how to protest, because if the county assesses it very high, like I can tell you right now, from year to year, certain areas and locales based on market demand and market forces and appreciation, values can go up. So what you want to do is make sure that what they're assessing it for is at or below market value. If it's way higher, you do have the ability to protest that and lower your property taxes. You can also see whether or not, if you had a homestead exemption or other exemptions, you can make sure they're on that form to make sure they're applied. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive into this. I'm going to bring up, I brought in a couple forms to show you guys. So first of all, this is what the form looks like. It's 2019. This is an example of one I pulled out off the web. It's a notice of appraised value. So you're going to see here in a table, it's going to show you the improvements and the market value of the land. So, and then it'll come down here and it'll tally up the appraised value. So in this case, this particular property was valued at $569,768, and this year it actually went down. It went down to $539. So as a homeowner, you're going to be like, okay, well, that's cool because my property taxes went down. And you can see here it lists the taxable entities, but it also lists the total appraised value, and then it shows the exemption amount. Now that's really important because you can see right here, it'll list your different exemptions: disabled vet, disabled person, homestead over 65. This particular homeowner has a homestead exemption, and for this jurisdiction, you can see it's lowering the taxable value for the town from $539 down to $585. From Collin County, these two entities, it lowers it down a little bit. And then for the ISD, it's also lowering it down so that the total tax bill is based, these percentages are applied to the taxable value after exemptions. So that's important. And if you haven't filed your exemptions, make sure you get them filed. And now, let's say that you look at this value right here and you're like, well, wait a minute, that appraised value is more than I think it's worth. Well, what do? Well, if you look, there's a form. The back of your notice of appraised value should have a form that comes with it. And they're also available on the county's website, which is on page 2. And it literally shows you, it typically will auto-populate your name and your address, and then you just check the box on, why, incorrect market value is usually the one you want to check, and then it gives you some steps on what to do. Now, usually when you get in the mail, you'll get a taxpayer's remedies. Okay, so you need to read through this because it explains, how to protest, what can be protested, how the hearing process works. There's some good information on here. Informal appraisal review process sort of, explains how the whole process works. So I can tell you I've had many clients that have gone in and protested and won. Typically, what you do is you want to reach out to your real estate professional who helps you purchase this home and have them run comps. And you have to make sure that when they send them to you, a lot of times they don't do this on purpose. They'll send you a list of houses, maybe 10 houses, and go, here you go. And you'll be looking at it going, well, what do I do with these? You want them to take a moment and dial in and say, these are the best comps, and those are the ones you want to look at. And if they're less than what they're taxing your house for, you want to fill the form out and take those comps with you. And when you go to the hearing, you can say my real estate pulled these are the houses that are almost identical to mine or close in mine in terms of square footage and improvements, etc., and make the case to get your property tax bill lower. And quite often you can do just that. I had one of my clients this week ask me of services. I don't know of anybody that I could recommend that I would say is reputable, just because for many years property values have gone up a little bit each year, and it's not a service that I've seen in action. There are services out there that do this for you, but I can tell you, by and large, that's just a convenience to save time. Most everybody will just do this for yourself. So that's the procedure. Fill out the form, get the comps, make sure you're reading through this. And let me explain one last thing. This is what affects your tax. So if you have an escrow account, what happens if you don't pay attention to this, your taxes can go up and you didn't even pay attention. And what ends up happening is in December, the taxes get paid. And then the following first quarter of the following year, so usually in February, March, after the taxes are paid, you're going to get an escrow analysis. And if the taxes went up and they get paid by your servicer, guess what? You're going to be short on your escrow account. And guess what they do? They just raise your payment. And so I get calls every year in the first quarter for people that aren't, even though I explain this to my clients very thoroughly, they still forget. And they'll call and say, hey, what happened? And then, of course, we help them work their way through the process. But if you have an escrow account, that's one of the things you want to really look at. Make sure your exemptions are there, make sure the valuation's correct, and make sure if they did go up, that you're sort of aware that, hey, my escrow account payment might go up next year. Thank you so much, and I wanted to let you know I'm here to help and answer any of your questions anytime. We're related to home finance or wealth creation through real estate. Feel free to reach out to me, and have a great day.